Thanks for the support as a channel member, Michael Angood. Fear not, justice for Sir Alan Hardy Brigade. It's the FA Cup quarter-final, which means Sir Alan FA Cup Hardy gets to make an appearance in a video. Hello and welcome to part 106 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that FA Cup quarter-final away against Birmingham, then a Premier League game at home against Norwich. Since you were last with me, we're on a nice little unbeaten run, including an absolute smashing of Palace, lots more goals for Gomez. He scored again twice in that game against Watford. Christian Gomez, now 18 goals from 27 games so far this season. He has signed a new contract extension. He's considered a good player for most Premier League sides. 4.5-star player. Not quite best player at the club. Serna Jackie gets that honour. But between the two of them, we have two very, very good players. One of which you lot didn't like initially. Sometimes Kev's right too. Neither of them make it into the Media Dream 11, which is very, very sad. But I would assume they're our two best players on here. Serna Jackie mixing in about halfway up, and Gomez is our second best player. There we go. Weirdly, the media still expecting us to finish 19th and get relegated this season, despite the fact it's no longer mathematically possible for us to go down. With 8 games remaining, we're on 46 points, 23 points ahead of Crystal Palace, who are down in 18th place with only 7 games to play. We are mathematically safe. We're only looking upwards now. We've got 2 games in hand on Tottenham, who occupy that 7th place position, and we're only 7 points behind them. Do we play them? We don't play them. That's unfortunate, but it's game on. We've got 2 potential routes into Europe, FA Cup and Premier League. It would be very nice to achieve either of them. So let's do job 1, which is Birmingham. So our team to face Birmingham, we've got Sir Alan Hardy in goal because it's the FA Cup. A back four of Congney, De Silva, Reed and Orlando. And Nautovic and Mira in midfield, who've now got a better partnership. They've had a dotted line all season. It's now become a solid line because we're unbeaten for a little while. It shows that the dotted lines are never permanent. Some of you think those dotted lines mean two players can't play together. There's your confirmation. It just means they haven't yet played together. And sometimes it is possible to improve. They've now built a fairly decent partnership. Minic Ruiz and Serna Jackie supporting Gomez up front. We definitely have goals in us through Gomez, through Serna Jackie. Minic and Ruiz are both in very good form as well. That front four is good enough to be playing in the Europa League next season. It's just whether or not the rest of the team can help us limp over the line to get there. Right. Go out there, carry on from where you finished off in the last game. I don't know where Birmingham are in the league. Birmingham are in the Premier League, aren't they? I'm sure they are. But I'm not entirely sure whereabouts in the Premier League they are. I don't know how good we're supposed to be in this game. But, you know, we've had some wonderful FA Cup runs with Bourne in this series. We had that quarter-final where we went to Arsenal and lost. We had, I think it was the following season, we made it all the way through to the final. The FA Cup is our competition, mainly because it's Sir Alan Hardy's competition. And Mira has just put us 1-0 up, 22 minutes on the clock. Birmingham 0, Bourne 1. It's a Ruiz in-swinging corner that's nodded down by Serna Jackie, and Mira is there to just tuck it away from relatively close range. It's just inside the... It's like 20 yards away. It's not that close range. But, or I guess it's the 18-yard box, isn't it? And he was inside it, so he definitely wasn't 20 yards away. Distance isn't my strong point. Congney with the cross, and Serna Jackie is there, but can't quite direct his header down below the crossbar. I think the keeper probably had it covered anyway. It was kind of straight at the keeper, but too high. So it was a poor header. He probably should have done a little bit better. And now it's Birmingham with the chance to have an attack, although Nautovic is all over them there trying to win the ball back. But they eventually get it back via Serna Jackie. And I'm glad Orlando missed with that wild swing of his leg there. It has led to us conceding a goal, but if he connects with that player, he's sent off. So I guess it's for the best. I mean, really, should he be sent off for intent? Because he absolutely, you'll see it on the replay. So he misses the tackle there, and then a wild swing of the leg. That's worth at least a yellow card, even though he missed, surely. He was trying to kick that guy. But luckily, Football Manager doesn't see it that way, and we're okay. We're pressing on their goalkeeper here, and Gomez very nearly forcing an error as we try and re-establish our lead just before half-time. But this guy, G, is... Oh, God. Perhaps this is Alan Hardy's last game in the FA Cup. There's only so much room for nostalgia and sentiment. We've got a £15 million 4-star goalkeeper who doesn't concede this goal. I mean, I know we all love him. I obviously love him. I knighted him, for goodness sake. You can't say I don't love Sir Alan Hardy. But surely after what we've just seen there, it's time for us to agree. Maybe his glory days are behind him. Because it's more important for us to win the FA Cup than to play Sir Alan Hardy. I think, and I think we'll all agree. He can play in like the 3rd and 4th round next year. But when it becomes a competition we have a chance of winning, there's no room to mess around at that point, surely. Cogney plays it back to Arnautovic. Arnautovic across to Mira. Ruiz, Orlando. Can he line up a shot here? In fact, he plays it into Cernajacki, who has a shot, and it goes just wide. I'm tempted to make the goalkeeping substitution, but I think that is really harsh for a man who served us so well in this competition. But, I mean, he's been beaten from long range twice, and that second one was straight at him. Cernajacki, back to Orlando. Orlando now. He has been dangerous down this right-hand side. He's just dancing towards the penalty area, hoping someone fouls him. In fact, it's made it to Cernajacki, but he loses out on the ball. Mira nodding it back down to Ruiz, who's got Orlando as an option outside of him again. Ruiz has just decided to go it alone and finds Arnautovic back to Mira. Arnautovic and Mira just knocking it back and forth between each other before Mira plays a beautiful pass to Minic. What a goal! It was such patient build-up. We were just waiting for the opportunity, and then it presents itself. And that was a Vermonti-esque pass from Mira. This was superb. Just waiting for the right moment, waiting for Minic to be in just enough space to ping that onto his foot. And then first, it's a lovely finish from Minic as well. Let's not give all the credit to Mira. It's a lovely finish from Minic as well. And it's 2-2, and it's game on, boys and girls. And with 20 minutes remaining, I think there has to be a result today. I don't think this goes to a replay if it ends as a draw. I think it goes to extra time once you get to the quarterfinals. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe the game will correct me if I'm wrong, if it's still 2-2 at the end of the game. But I think that's what happens. Right, Cogney. Looking for someone to feed the ball to on this left-hand side. Finds Minic, and Cogney's continued his run. If someone can spot him, Cogney's in acres of space on this left-hand side now, but no one knows he's there. He's thinking on a different level to everybody else around him, and it's a little bit of a shame. Right, Gomez not had a good game today, so Lahif is going to come on for 20 minutes at the end of this game. Ruiz also not having the best of times, so Robinson can come on for him, even though my assistant manager wants Voros in that situation. Voros, more of a wide player. He can come on for Cernajacki if we decide to make that change in a second, which I think we probably are. We're not getting much out of our attackers today, although Orlando's tiring, but Cernajacki's tiring even more. So Voros can come on for him, and then we probably will end up doing that. And Voros can go into that little slot, and hopefully, with this new combination of front four, we can find a late winner. But it's Birmingham who've got the ball. We need to win the ball back here because they are. We've got Hardy in goal, and we've seen him be beaten relatively weakly twice today. I mean, you can't really complain about that one. I don't think any goalkeeper saves that one. But what we haven't seen today, which we've always seen from Hardy in the FA Cup in the past, is a couple of wonder saves. Pretty much, if Birmingham have had a shot, it's ended up in the back of the net. And I think that's us calling time on Sir Alan Hardy. We need to go attack him. We need to demand more. We've been the better team here. Although we've only had 3 shots on targets. We've not been that great. But this is our last gasp chance at an equaliser. The ball's bobbling around in the air. Oh, Reed's offside. How is he offside? He's in a crowd of players. I don't understand how he can be offside here. Let's have a look at it from the other angle. So when the free kick's played, he's offside. And that's what it's for. He is the man stood offside when the free kick is played. Ridiculous. That's just poor. And there goes our chance at winning the FA Cup. Oh, it was just one of those days. Let's try and keep motivation high. Thank you, Sir Alan. You're probably not going to play again unless we get an injury, though. One nice long international break later and a shiny new contract for Kev, another 3 years at Bourne, now earning £19,250 a week. Lovely stuff. Percentage of club compensation required. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I get 90% of the compensation? I mean, if there's 3 million quid in it for me, I'll leave. How much have I earned in my career? I've only earned £1.5 million in my career. If I get handed £3 million to leave, can I leave and come back? I want the cash. But new 3-year contract sorted. A couple of changes for the Norwich game. Mazzinho comes back in goal. Regulus comes back in at left back, pushing Cogney up into midfield with Arnautovic dropping out due to... Where is he? Why can I never... There he is, due to fitness levels following the international break we've just had. Plus, I kind of like Cogney in there anyway, and Regulus is getting better and better all the time. So, as we now have our push towards Europe, every game is a big game now, and we've not got many games left at the Noel Cantwell Arena in Peterborough before we move into our shiny new stadium out at Milking Nook that we identified way back in episode 1, and we're now finally getting to move there. The whole team looks pretty tired after these international breaks are a problem. The players come back super tired. Norwich are another one of the teams who are trying to battle to get into these European spots. They've got a 4-point advantage on us, but we do have a game in hand over them. So it's almost a very early playoff to see who's actually in that race, because if we lose today, the gap between us and Norwich starts to open up and we just accept that we're going to be a mid-table team, which is no bad thing, really. For our first season in the Premier League, I'd have absolutely taken 47 points if it was offered to me before the season started, and we've still got 7 games left after this one. So, yeah, I mean, mid-table, absolutely fine, but a sneaky trip into Europe would be even finer. So we'd quite like to do that. An effort from Norwich that goes just over the bar. Mazzinho had it covered. I hope he understands why he wasn't in the team for the FA Cup game. He doesn't speak any English at all yet, so hopefully some of the other Brazilian lads have explained it to him, and he knows he wasn't just dropped after, 6 games since arriving for 15 million quid. Regulus with the free kick. It's a pretty poor one, and Norwich win the ball back immediately, and this is where we need to put some pressure on them, and we do. We get the ball back through Jackie, who finds Gomez, and there's goal number 19 of the season for Christian Gomez. There's cartwheel number 19 of the season for Christian Gomez, and it's Bourne 1, Norwich 0, and our awesome front four strike again. This is, I mean, I know we've had some good attackers and some good combinations up front during my time here at Bourne, but I reckon this might be the best front four we've had in the entire series. Let me know down in the comments if you prefer some of the earlier ones. I mean, obviously we had the likes of Mata and Carty and Hector Ingram who scored more goals, but as a four who all look dangerous at all times, this four are a little bit special. And they're all young. I think Minic is the oldest at 25, but they're all going to get better. This four, if we can keep them together, these could be the attackers that do lead us into Europe. If not this year, then a couple of seasons down the line when they're even better. Failing that, we'll sell them on for loads of money, and that works for me as well, because then we can try and keep that conveyor belt rolling while we build up a fan base to the point where we don't need to constantly be selling players. Right, 1-0 at half-time. I've asked the boys not to get complacent. And De Silva and Reed respond by knocking the ball back and forth between them at the back, which is... it's just the mark of complacency, but let's not worry too much about that. We're struggling to get the ball back. Everton on the wing for Norwich, trying to skip past our defender. We're all over the place there. Reed ended up out at right back. It all went a little bit wrong during that move, and it's 1-1. And the defending here was pretty shocking. Orlando misses. He's just chasing back and forth, ties himself inside out. Reed goes out to try and cover his mess. Orlando's not had a very good episode. He's another one who we've just spent a lot of money on. Brought him in, doesn't yet speak English, so I guess he can be excused a little bit because he's another one who's got a lot of potential and will get better. We saw how long it took Gomez to settle in, but in the meantime, Orlando is a little bit all over the place at right back. And now Norwich coming down the other side where we've got Regulus, who I mean, we never intended to be. I mean, it's Mira who's out there actually, who is awesome. But Regulus was never intended to be a regular player for us this year. But because of his name, I had to make him a regular. Regulus. Minich has done brilliantly there. He's just had to go on another intensive language course. He also struggling to speak the language. This team's just going to get better when they can all start communicating with each other. Unless, of course, they all fall out, in which case that could be a problem. Gomez here finds Ruiz. Ruiz back to Minich, who shoots, and then has another go. Much tamer the second time of asking. It's on his weaker foot and a far less impressive effort. An issue that we've potentially got now, looking at the attendance today, I mean, I need to check what the actual number is, but this ground looks pretty full. This ground has a capacity of 16,000, and we've filled that on a number of occasions this season. Our new ground only has a capacity of 12,500. So not quite as bad as we've got it with home on the stream save at the moment. If you've not been watching that, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO, we're streaming 4 nights a week. We have a stadium catastrophe. But it's still a bit of an issue that we're probably going to have to expand the stadium almost immediately, which is far from ideal. Right, I want to get Amlang on. Ruiz is going to drop back into central. I'm going to shuffle everything around to try and get Amlang on. Ruiz can play there, and then he can go up there, and then Amlang can come on there. I just want a winner. There's no point drawing with Norwich. If we want to get into Europe, then this is a game we have to win. So draws no use to us at all. Cogney drop back to left back now. Big throw, but no one's in there to challenge. And now Norwich have a counter-attack of their own, and someone needs to deal with this, and nobody is. And there we go. Ruiz is the man who's come all the way back to get the tackle in. That boy has got some talent. But Norwich keep the attack going, and please somebody deal with this. It's Voros who eventually picks it up, and that's a very risky pass, but Robinson manages to pick it up, and now Robinson has a counter-attack of his own in the offing. It's taken 2 of their players to get the ball off him, but Robinson takes it straight back again, charges into the area. Why are you not passing? There's 3 players alongside you who all had a better chance of scoring there than you did. And he just blasts it over the bar. Robinson this time with the free kick. Reed's in space. Is he onside this time? I think he is. It's 2-1. Alan Reed with his 3rd goal of the season. And it's Bourne 2, Norwich 1 with 3 minutes to go in the game. We'll have a look at it from the other angle. There's no question of offside here, I don't think. Reed's just done proper centre-back play and attacking free kick this time. But we've dropped back to positive. And dropped back to positive, he says. Norwich with a free kick. Somebody deal with it. Cogney heads it sort of clear. It barely leaves the penalty area. Someone just take a red card at this point. Get the ball back. Mira gives it to Amlang, who turns nicely. What a pass for Ruiz. Ruiz is through on goal here and should have put the game beyond doubt. Didn't quite, but it was still very good football. I've just noticed 13,500 fans in the ground today. Only 2,500 of them from Norwich. So there's 11,000 Bourne fans in here for a game that I know it's got potential European qualification ramifications. There was a lot of words in there. But it's not exactly a big club. It's not exactly a big game. We are going to fill the new ground every single week that we're in the Premier League. And hopefully we're in the Premier League for keeps now after the performance this season. So we need to save some money to immediately expand it. I hope it's got some expansion capacity, or else that would be disastrous. Right, Robinson with a free kick. The final whistle is going to go any second, so we shouldn't be in any danger of messing this up. Reed was lurking at that far post again, and there is the final whistle. And we are very much in a fight for this final European qualification spot. If we have a last look at the league table. Where are we? So, league table. I mean, I could look at it there. League table. We're on 49 points with 2 games in hand over Tottenham, who are on 54. If we win both of our games in hand, we go above Tottenham, but we do need to be wary of Liverpool, who also have a game in hand over Tottenham. In fact, also have 2 games in hand over Tottenham. So we've got the same number of games as Liverpool. So it's probably actually Liverpool who we're chasing. But, interestingly, Liverpool already qualified for Europe. So potentially, if Liverpool finish 7th, does that mean 8th gets into Europe? We'll see. We're definitely in the mix. We've just got to keep winning. And tomorrow we'll be back for the final 2 league games of the season, which is Southampton and West Ham, hopefully with a little European-shaped surprise. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.